Hello, the Divine Code reading for March 11th, pages 555 and 556. We are in the chapter Prohibitions relating to being alone with a forbidden with a forbidden partner. Topic number 17. The prohibition of seclusion was not expressly given to Gentiles, but it is rather a precaution to guard one from forbidden relations. Therefore, if there is a great need for a person to be in a certain place, and there is someone of the opposite gender there, but it will be secluded, but they are each busy, that means with their occupation, and neither the man or woman are suspected of being licentious, it appears that they may be secluded in a temporary fashion, although it is preferable that they have a window or door open to the public area. Or, if this is not possible, that there is a stranger or older child with them. So these rules are more. It's clear halakha for the Jewish people. The rules that we're going over with regards to seclusion. For non-Jews, these are just general guidelines. These are good ideas. These are things that we should follow. However, because they're things that we should follow, they're not clear halakha, then there's room for leniency under certain circumstances. Therefore, if, let's say, two people are working in an office late, or in a private office, they're allowed to be there as long as they're busy and they're decent human beings. However, it's preferable that it not be secluded. They have an open window, or they have other people in the office who'd be better in that type of situation, because things, familiarity brings people to comfort with each other, which could lead to things. So it's best not to be secluded, even though it's not a absolute Torah prohibition. If two men need to be in an area where one or two women are also found, they can be lenient in being secluded if they are busy with their occupation and they are not suspected of immodesty. In such a case, it is possible to follow the leniency of Rima Evan Ha'ezer 22:5. This is also the opinion of Radbaz in his Responsa, Volume 3, Chapter 481. Still, they should not be secluded for an extended period of time, as they will become fond of each other and will become comfortable with each other. However, if a man whose business requires dealing with women, such as a perfumer or makeup artist or hairdresser, or one who sells articles like jewelry or clothing to women, may not be secluded with one or two women even temporarily, for he is comfortable with them, and they are comfortable with him. See Tur Shulchan Aruch Ebenezer Ha'ezer 22:7 and Kilkuk Mikol Kiak 22:11. This only applies in a closed area, but if there is a door open to the public view, there is no prohibition of seclusion, as was seen earlier regarding seclusion when there's a door open in the public area. So if a person works in a business that so door-to-door vacuum salesman or something, and he's comfortable talking to women, and women feel safe around him, they feel comfortable around him, that's best that they do not allow themselves seclusion, which of course would be difficult for the door-to-door vacuum salesman, but that's it's best not to have those kind of situations. Topic number 18. There's no prohibition of seclusion for Gentiles with elderly people who have already lost all lust for licentiousness. Therefore, an elderly man may be secluded with a younger woman, or an elderly woman with a younger man, since they would not normally be drawn into licentious acts. And here we're talking about people that are like really advanced and they're physically wiped out. We're not talking about people that are 65. We're talking about people that are, very along in their physical capacities. For Jews, this is forbidden. That's regarding the elderly person with the younger person, since a prohibition of seclusion for them is explicit in the Torah. Whereas Gentiles may be lenient about this, since their prohibition is only a logical one. So Responsa of Ravaz, Volume 3, Chapter 481, who uses this logic as part of a permission he gives for a specific situation. It appears it is not forbidden for a Gentile to be secluded with a minor, a man with a girl below the age of 12, or a woman with a boy below the age of 13. Ezer Mikodesh Eben Haezer 22:3. Likewise, it is explained by Rashi, who in Tractate Kedushim 81b, that the normal male inclination only begins to lust for a girl when she is old enough that her breasts are formed and she has grown pubic hair. See Rosh Kedushim there, part 25, and this is close to the age of 12. And again, that would depend upon the culture and the people involved as to what would be proper in such a case. See Rambam, Laws of Forbidden Sexual Relations, chapter 22, and Shulchan Aruch Even HaEzer, chapter 22, that a Jewish man or woman is even forbidden to be secluded with a girl or boy, respectfully, who is just old enough for intercourse relations. However, it appears that this does not apply to Gentiles. The main Torah prohibition for a Jewish man or woman is seclusion of a man with another man's wife. It was the sages who eventually introduced the prohibition of seclusion of a man with a single woman. So these laws are also rabbinic for the Jewish people, except for specifically a man with a married woman. But because it's based on a Torah prohibition of a man with a married woman, therefore they're stricter for Jews than they are for Gentiles. That doesn't mean that, still we have logic and we have to follow logic in these regards. But for non-Jews, it's purely based upon logic. It was the sages who eventually introduced, seclusion of a man with a single woman, and in this they did not differentiate regarding her age. In contrast, as explained above, the prohibition for Gentiles in this regard is based on logic, and therefore only that which logically could lead to a sinful cohabitation is forbidden to them. Therefore, this would not permit seclusion of a normal man with a young girl or a normal woman with a young boy. So normal in this case is referring to a man or a woman who would not, or we would call it molest a minor. That's considered a normal. So for normal people, seclusion with a minor would not be a concern. Normal people, it would be adults with adults, and that's where the seclusion is a concern. Since children of that age do not lust for forbidden relations as do adults, and most adults do not desire to cohabit with minors. The main reason for the safeguarding prohibition of seclusion is because of the possibility of licentious desires. This only applies if the adult is not suspected of having any desire to abuse children by forced relations upon them. For this reason, it is forbidden to leave one's children with a known or suspected pedophile. And this is probably the most logical thing of all, but unfortunately, in our society, especially with men and women both working and the necessity for childcare, people are not careful enough in this area. And we need to be cautious with regards to who children are being left with. Topic number 19. A doctor involved in his practice is permitted to be secluded with a woman patient. Even if he is checking and thereby touching her body, since he is involved in his work and is afraid to sin with the woman, as this would bring a bad reputation, and he would lose his occupation and good name. This is allowed. Still, it is proper for a nurse, guardian, or helper to be in the room or close by during the examination. Igrit Moshe, Ebna Ezer, Volume 4, Chapter 65, Adzar Hapaskin, Volume 9, page 72, Tizit Eleazar, Volume 6, 40 and 40, 12. So a doctor who has a medical license, and in today's society, that would be through a government-issued license, and there are strict standards that doctors live by, as do school teachers and other occupations, similar occupations. They have strict standards. If they break the strict standards, they will lose their license, and therefore they would lose their job. And there would also be in many societies, there'd be criminal. They would spend time in prison for breaking the trust, or breaking these regulations. Thank you.